the IDP show, now you know.
Welcome back to IDP Bets. My name is Johny the Greek. I am joined this week with my friend Adam Markham at Adam IDP on Twitter. Adam, how are you, sir?
I'm doing very well, Johnny. I guess I need to lead off with a apology to you. I'm sorry that the Cowboys let you down again for the 100th time. I mean, it's not like you didn't expect it, though. We talked before we got on here, and that's just the life of a Vikings and Cowboys fan. Like, it was the second that you're confident about this team, whether it may be the Vikings or you be the Cowboys, that's when they screw you. And they've done that time and time and time again. Josh on our show was talking about how he was excited for the Cowboys, and I was like, dude, it's the Cowboys, man. You can never be excited for the Cowboys.
I didn't think it was going to be this early. I knew there was a legit possibility, and you're right. We talked about this ahead of time, and I financially planned for the Cowboys to lose, so that worked out. But I didn't think it was going to be immediately. With the home field and the second seed, I thought it would be until San Francisco.
Yeah, but that's when they do it to you, man. When you're thinking that you're good, you thought this first round was a breeze. Nope, Jordan Love, red hot right now. Crazy,
dude, so crazy. But hopefully we can find some good bets for. How'd you do? More importantly, how'd you do on your bets the first round there?
We did good. And I guess I also have to apologize to the listeners though for the Devin White. If anyone followed me on the Devin White suggestion, Jesus, it was Devin White minus 4.5 tackles plus assists last week. I was like, this is a no-brainer layup here. Because and they did kind of bench him towards the end of the year, but week 17 we saw him play, his usual, I think it was like 95%, or whatever, alongside Lavonte David. So I figured, playoffs are starting. This dude has had a lot of success in the playoffs. I figured Devin White was fine. I didn't figure we'd have to worry about the snaps, but boy, I was wrong. The snaps couldn't have been more than like 30% of the defensive snaps last week. So it was just did not work out for us. He did not meet those 5 tackles that we were looking for. So it was a bad look for your boy. And I was obnoxious about it too. I was like, get your dubs, guys. A win's a win. Just a real bad look. But I did good on all the other ones. Like I missed that first one, and then like I nailed the next 4, but that first one stings really bad.
Oh, dude, independent of your thought process there, we did not talk about this at all. I did the same exact thing. I saw 4.5 combined tackles against what I'll check my notes here in a minute when we talk about this week, but what was the 4th overall ranked rushing attack in the league, averaging about 30 attempts per game, indoor game, no weather, high over under, everything lined up for that. And I made the same exact bet.
Okay, well, that makes me feel a bit better. But yeah, I mean, it seemed like there's an old saying: if it's too good to be true, it probably is. Yep. There you go.
Yeah. Vegas knew something we didn't.
That's right.
Good stuff, man. Glad all the other ones went well, though. That is good. Yeah, and let's turn our attention to the divisional round and see what we can come up with. You want to lead her off here with the first one?
Sure. Yeah, let's get wild here with this first one. I'm gonna go with Derek Barnett over 0.25 sacks. This is plus 175. Remember this guy, Johnny? Derek Barnett?
Yeah, Eagle for a long time. Yep.
Yeah, exactly. Barnett was the 14th overall pick in the 2017 draft. And up to this point, he's mainly been a bust. His best statistical season came in 2019 when he put up 30 tackles and 6.5 sacks for Philly. If you weren't plugged into IDP as the season was winding down, you probably missed that Barnett was relevant again. Over Barnett's last 5 games, he racked up 19 tackles and 3.5 sacks, and he has 18 pressures on 106 pass rush attempts. That is an elite 17.3% pressure rate. Jerry Hughes has been ruled out for this one, and Jonathan Grenard is also not 100% after battling injuries to close out the year and then leaving last week's game after 15 snaps because of an ankle injury. Grenard is expected to play this week, but I think Barnett's going to be healthiest of the bunch. So I'm expecting, at least 60% of the defensive snaps for Barnett. And dude's been playing great lately, man. I mean, Sure, it's a long shot. I'm not saying to go out and get wild with this one, but plus 175. Again, 3.5 sacks in his last 5 games. You can do worse.
Yeah, love that, man. Yep, Graham and Barnett back in the day on the Eagles were super IDP relevant. They were awesome for years. This guy's a vet. It's not his first rodeo, and he just needs a piece of a sack, not the whole thing. So I'm with you on that. Love the price too. Nice price.
Yeah, I mean, and really, that's just a reminder to all of our IDP listeners out there. Maybe go check your waiver wires if you're in a deep league. That starts 4 to 5 defensive linemen or whatever. If you're in one of these sleeper leagues, go check your waiver wire. See if Barnett's out there. He could play a role next year. He's a UFA. Sometimes these guys, have these late career surges. We see it all the time in IDP. So yeah, I think Barnett is a decent ad.
Yep. Nice. Like that right there. My first one this week is going to be Desmond King. Same team, Texans, over 5.5 combined tackles. Listen, he does not play every snap. If he gets 80, 85%, we're having a good day. We're feeling good. But his role, whatever it is, don't know the name, don't care, has in the last month produced 12 combined tackles, 8 combined tackles, 11 combined tackles, 11 combined tackles. He had like 1 the week before that, and then another 10 the week before that. So 5 out of the last 6 here have been almost, 8 or double-digit tackles. So whatever they have him doing, it's resulting in a ton of combined tackles each week. The price is -140, so not the greatest we've ever seen, but once again, parlay round robin, you should be okay. They're going up against Baltimore. Baltimore should be able to provide enough offense to make this happen.
Yep, I love this one. This is one of the ones I got right last week as well. Desmond King, just the alignment when it comes to cornerbacks and defensive backs and IDP. We talk about alignment a lot. We want those guys that are playing in the slot, playing in the box, playing on the defensive line. Why? Because that's where the action's happening. That means that's where the tackles are happening. Desmond King has great alignment. Out of his 365 snaps, he's played 301 in the slot, 49 in the box, 12 on the defensive line, only 2 out wide at corner. From weeks 13 to 18, Desmond King racked up 45 tackles. That was 4th most among defensive backs. So yeah, major cosign there, brother.
Yeah, and this is not the first time he's done this. Desmond King has helped me win titles years ago, yes, doing this exact same thing / role. So it's real. I believe it.
Yes, was a cheat code early on in his career because he used to return kicks too. So if you're in leagues that reward for punt and kick returns, he was a legit cheat code.
Yep.
Yes, so we definitely love some Desmond King always. I'm gonna keep it in the cornerback family. I'm gonna go with Trent McDuffie over 4.5 tackles plus assists. That's plus 105. Trent McDuffie, another one of these DBs with above average alignment. They use this dude all over the place. Out of McDuffie's 1,037 snaps this year, 488 have come out of the slot, 315 at outside corner, 162 in the box, 70 on the defensive line, and 1 at free safety. I'd expect McDuffie to see time matched up against Diggs, Dalton Kincaid, Khalil Shakir, and Gabe Davis if he plays throughout this game. Players that will be a big part of Buffalo's game plan. Trent McDuffie had 6 tackles and a sack when these two faced off in week 14. So love Trent McDuffie here. Also like L'Jarius Sneed to hit the over 4.5 tackles plus assist, but his odds were at -175. Just kind of weird considering both these guys averaged 4.9 tackles per game. But yeah, I prefer McDuffie over the two, but I like them both.
Yep. Yeah, I'm with you. And that's a common thing we've seen all season with Chiefs corners, with those 2 Chiefs corners, is we typically don't get like a massive game for both of them the same week. But Vegas definitely thinks at least Sneed is going to have a big game this week in regards to combined tackles. But for my money, it's McDuffie this year. He feels like the more reliable, consistent option. The guy that's going to get you those overs on the combined tackles a little bit more often. So yeah, love this. And the Bills, yes, they've changed up their offense a little bit since week 12. They're running the ball a ton more. and it's working for them. But they are still an excellent passing attack, and they target their wide receivers quite a bit. So that's a good setup. Beautiful. All righty, moving on to my second one here. It's a little iffy, but what they all are. It's divisional round. We've got like 8 teams to pick from, so it is what it is. I'm gonna go Quay Walker over 8.5 combined tackles. This is at -130. So my reasoning is very straightforward on this. San Francisco is the 3rd overall rushing attack in the league. They average about 30 attempts per game. That's your floor right there. Those easy run stopping tackles, I can see him getting, 5 or 6 of those right off the rip. And then we just got to get lucky a few times in pass coverage with a tackle, and we're good to go. Not to mention, Green Bay should get annihilated this week. They should be on defense a ton this week. I know they destroyed Dallas, but San Francisco is not Dallas.
Yes, another good call there. At Quay Walker, he was kind of banged up, at the like midpoint of the season, and I feel like he's just now starting to really get healthy. And that feels like an easy. What was it, 8.5? You say?
Yeah, 8.5. I would even, Devondre Campbell's line isn't out yet. We were looking for that earlier today, but whichever line is lower might be the move there. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
if he's a tackle or two lower, I'd be just as happy with Campbell. I think they're both in a great situation.
Yeah, both of them playing, I think, 100% of the snaps. So yeah, I totally agree there. Okay, I guess we want to hit my my last one. I have another little juicy boy over here, but we'll hit the last one that I have some actual stats with. Justin Madubuike, our boy, over 2.5 tackles plus assists. That's -145. He has 56 tackles on the season. He's averaging 3.3 tackles per game, but he's hit at least 3 tackles in 10 of his last 13. Shout out to our boy PFF Macri. I'm looking at the tackles allowed by position chart, and Houston gave up the 10th most tackles to defensive linemen this year. They gave up 16 tackles per week to DL. So good matchup here for Madubuike. He's hot right now, red hot. And then I don't know, man, there's just more effort. There's more effort in the playoffs with all these guys, and it just feels like these tackle numbers are easier for these guys to get. Like, I'm not scared of any of these high lines for any of these like stud linebackers, like, or even the guys like Madubuike who have performed well all season long and are especially hot right now. But either way, the tackle lines just seem really low across the board. I'm going to have trouble going under on many of them.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. The Devin White, if they put one out under, might be a move, but that's about it, right? So I agree with you completely on this. So here, looking at it last week, I was doing a bunch of team bets for a different show, because my skill set's in demand these days, and of all the games last week, I can only think of one that was actually under on the total, and that was the Lions and Rams game, and that was almost there. We need another touchdown that would have been past the 51.5. Most of these games have gone significantly over what Vegas thinks the total should be. So you're absolutely right. This is the playoffs. No one's just going to roll over and die. They're going to keep fighting the entire game. There's going to be a lot of effort involved. Yeah, you're right. I think this is the time of year we get more stats, not less stats.
Yep, definitely agree.
Beautiful. All right. Next one for me. And I am very interested to hear your opinion on this now that we've shed some light on the Devin White shenanigans. So I'm going to take Lavonte David over 8.5 combined tackles, -125. Same reasoning that I've got going for a couple of these other ones. There are some excellent rushing attacks in the playoffs playing this week. Detroit is one of them. They're the 5th overall rushing attack in the league, averaging about 30 attempts per game. That's your floor. With any of these inside linebackers, if you're up against a team that runs the ball and runs the ball well, you can almost assuredly count on a good amount of easy run stopping tackles that you're automatically getting, and that's your floor. I love seeing stuff like that. I know Lavonte David is getting 5 or 6 combined tackles just from tackling David Montgomery or Gibbs. out of the backfield. And then he's just got to get a couple more tackles and we're good. So I love seeing stuff like that.
Oh yeah, dude. I mean, I loved Ernest Jones last week. Gonna love Lavonte David this week. Lavonte David is averaging 8.87 tackles per game. That is 12th best among all linebackers. Dude is such a legend, man. What is he? 32, 33? Maybe more, maybe older than that. Maybe 34. Dude is has not lost a step. I mean, there's no reason for him not to come back next year. Like, when does Lavonte David hang it up? Are we going to see like a Calais Campbell situation, like 37, 38? I hope so. I mean, I really would love to see it, man. Dude is awesome.
Oh yeah, love Lavonte David. Yep, been great for many, many years. Yep.
All right, I got one little juicy boy here, and emphasis on juicy because it's plus 325.
Ooh.
Yes, this is Lukas Van Ness, Johnny, over 0.25 sacks. You were a little familiar last week with Lukas Van Ness. He had a nice game, but Van Ness quietly has 4 sacks in his last 7. And he played a season high 53% of the defensive snaps in the wild card game against against Dallas. So, interesting, huh? I mean, that, for that guy to get that many snaps, the most snaps of the season in the playoffs. I know it was a blowout and all that stuff, but still, it was more than like the other rookies, Colby Wooden and I forget who, Carl Brooks, I think, so, I mean, he dude stood out. The guy's been playing really well as of late. I like some Van Ness, dude. And this, again, plus 325. Come on. That's about as high as I've seen a sack prop.
Yeah, that is the highest I've ever heard of for a sack prop. That's absolutely insane. I love it. And I think it comes down to game script. I think, if this thing goes the way it should go on paper and Vegas thinks it's going to go and blah, 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 and the Niners just slowly kill them, dominate time and possession, run the ball and choke the life out of them, then maybe this doesn't happen. But if Green Bay manages to give them another game, this absolutely happens, I think. So it's, it's a legit shot.
And I mean, who knows? I mean, San Fran could be a little rusty to start. It is Brock Purdy. I mean, he's definitely, I think, blown away everyone's expectations, and even I was like hesitant to crown him, but he's solid for what they got going on there. I mean, I don't think you don't really need a quarterback that does a ton when you have that type of offense, but dude is definitely solid. I don't want to take anything away from him, but he still is inexperienced when it comes to playoff football. And so, I mean, he could make some mistakes, and Lukas Van Ness could be the guy helping him make some of those mistakes. So that's my thought process there.
Yeah, I like it. I like it. And it's, you don't risk anything, you don't win anything. So
exactly.
Yeah.
So load up on this thing, dump the 401k, put it all on this, guys.
Love it. Love it. Thank you for reminding me. Just a reminder, everyone, these are only suggestions. Please gamble within your means and set a limit. For help with problem gambling, call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Yes, thank you, Johnny. It is true. No. It can get away from you, and you can lose, and you're definitely going to lose, and it's very easy to tilt and try and throw more money to get your money back, and that's a tough spot to be in, folks. So you got to be smart when it comes to all this stuff. Try your best to be smart, and yeah, there's definitely help out there if you need it. So, just be careful, folks. All right.
Yeah. I mean, we've talked about this offline. When COVID was going and the collectible cards, the sports cards were back. We saw people lose their life, not like die, but lose their livelihood, their house, their wives, get divorces because of that, because of cards. Yeah. Never mind this, which is,
there's just so many traps out there for you to fall into. And yeah, cards definitely. Like, I remember I got into cards for a little bit there. You couldn't find them in stores. Like, you would go to Target or Walmart and there was never any cards. If you go to any of those places now, loaded up full. That tells you the card market is not great. If you did kind of go all in on the card game, you're probably in trouble now. Same with like NFTs, Bitcoin, all that shit. You just gotta try and be smart, folks. Don't be dumb. Don't be spending money you don't got. All right. This is not financial advice either.
That's right. We're just having a good time.
Yeah. Really, this is a lot of it's just we want you to like pay attention to some of these like IDP players, It's just for another way to talk about these individual defensive players, guys. That's all it is.
That's it, man. That's it. And it makes even the most like boring, unwatchable game watchable. Like it does what fantasy was supposed to do, which is make the Thursday night games interesting.
Exactly. All right. Well, you got anything else? You got any other ones? Any bonus bets?
Yeah. I could throw probably one bonus out there, and just a mention. So this is not out yet, but if Brandon Stevens' line does come out, I would absolutely take over on it, unless it's crazy, unless it's like 7-8 tackles or something. Considering the Texans are the 7th overall passing attack and they're 9th in the league for wide receiver targets, so that's a great setup. Marlon Humphrey was declared out earlier today, so it is Stevens. That's your option. But yep, bonus one will be following the same theme as the others. Nick Bolton over 9.5 combined tackles, -115. So he had 10 last week against an exponentially less good team than he's playing this week, in a far less competitive game than what we should see this week. The Bills, went 6-6, and it looked like their season was going to swirl the toilet. They fired their offensive coordinator, brought in, I think it was Joe Brady, and started running the crap out of the ball, and they have not stopped. They went from an okay rushing attack to one that has over 30 attempts per game and is averaging, I think it was 161 yards a game. That's absolutely insane. And it's the perfect floor for Nick Bolton to get that for combined tackles.
I love it. That's going to be so much fun. What a game that's going to be, man. We got so many lopsided games this past weekend. We deserve a weekend full of close ones. I think that Lions Rams game was like the only close one, it felt like. Maybe I'm wrong there. Maybe there was another close one, but they were all blowouts for the most part.
Yeah. No, yeah. I definitely have had a much harder time trying to pick things out and decide who's going to win. Looking at like team lines and stuff this week, like get no idea.
Yeah, exactly. I haven't done much line betting, like team line betting for sure. It's just, it's up in the air this year, and it's up for grabs. Anyone can win it, I think.
Yep, that's a good thing. We want a league like that. But I think we got some good options there. Any parting words or words of wisdom?
No, we love you guys. Thanks for joining us. This is it's always a lot of fun. Love getting to chop it up with you, get inside that brain of yours, Johnny. You got a beautiful mind. You really do.
You too, buddy. It's always a good time. And we do have some excellent guests coming the next couple episodes. We're trying to get Mr. Bogman back. We got Mr. Varnes coming for the Super Bowl. So
that's right.
Things will be good.
We actually may have promoted Varnes being on this one. We had to reschedule. So if you were expecting Varnes, apologies, but he will be back for the biggest game of the year. So until then,
thank you everyone for listening. We'll catch you guys next week. Good luck with your bets. Have a good one. We'll see you then. Bye-bye.
IDP show, IDP show, IDP show.